Hello, hello. I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Welcome. Today we're going to make a fun and easy Easter treat holder. And we're going to be using the stamp set Easter Friends. Before we start, a couple things. My monthly Stamps Club for March, it is too late to register to receive your free kit, but it isn't too late for you to watch the video. So Thursday, March 31st at 6 p.m., I will be on my YouTube channel right here and sharing the cards for the sample of my monthly Stamps Club. And I am going to be using on Thursday the Waves of Inspiration stamp set and dies. And with right now you can order this. This is an early release from our annual catalog. But now through May, there are some additional products. 12 by 12 Designer Series paper, blue foil, and rhinestone wave basic jewels. And these are only as supplies last. And right now they're not, you cannot order these, but hopefully they will have more in stock because this promotion goes on now through May 2nd, I believe it is. But this is the stamp set I'll be using for my March monthly Stamps Club. And tune in on March 31st at 6 p.m. or whenever it's convenient for you, and I'll be sharing more information. Speaking of my monthly Stamps Club for April, I'm going to be using the stamp set Daffodil Daydream from our mini January to June catalog. And you can register right now over at rusticbarncards.com. Get all the information, and I'll have the information in the description of this video. And for the $30, you will receive a stamp set, a card kit with supplies to make 6 cards, a video tutorial, and this includes shipping also. Stampin'Up, we still have the Savings Are in Bloom promotion going on now through March 31st. And the mini Stampin' Cut emboss machine, is you can save 20% along with 13 different bundles. And the last chance for our annual catalog that is retiring is going on now also. Perfect time to buy some of the items that will not be back. So they are retiring, and it's once they're gone, they're gone. And we have 5 in colors that will be retiring, and those stamp pads and cardstock usually goes very quick. So I would put your order in, and I would love to earn your business. So if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please consider placing an order with me. I appreciate it. All right, well, today we're going to make a quick and easy Easter little candy bag holder or whatever you wanted to put in it. And we are going to use this stamp set and Happy Easter. We're going to be using Mango Melody ink along with our basic black. We're going to be using our red ribbon that is in the mini January to June catalog, which is also where you'll find the Easter Friends stamp set I'm using today on page 27 is the stamp set. And I'm going to be using some Designer Series paper, which is on page 9. And I'm going to be using a Designer Series paper from the Sweet Talk. You will need a full sheet of cardstock, 8.5 by 11. I'm going to be using Granny Apple Green. For your sentiment, 3 by 1. I'm going to be using Real Red. And then from the Designer Series paper, Sweet Talk, I have, let's see, 1.5 by 3. And this is what I'm going to be using. And you also need a scrap of basic white, large enough so we can stamp our rabbit. Okay. And I'm going to bring in our trimmer, and we're going to do some cutting. Or actually scoring, then cutting. So I'm going to place my cardstock where the 11 inches is across the top. And we are going to score this at 2 inches. And then 5 inches. Seven inches. And 10 inches. Then we're going to turn our cardstock around, and we are going to score at 2 inches. And 7 inches. Now don't let all the scoring scare you. And then I'm finished with the trimmer, so we'll get this out of the way. And now you will want to go ahead and fold on all the score lines. So just score and burnish. So you just fold it on the score lines. This is a quick and easy. I have a treat holder to show you that I did the top just a little bit different than I'm going to do this one. So I will share that with you. Then we have one more to turn around this way to fold. And then notice there's 1 inch over here, so you want to hold your cardstock like this with the 1 inch over here. And then there's 1, 2, and 3 squares. I'm going to cut these 3 squares off. So I'm going to cut down here and across here. So the 1 inch is over on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these 3 squares off. And I don't need that. So we have those 3 sections, and you have a long section and then a short section at the top. We're going to cut this small section right here off. And I'm going to cut that right on the score line. Right, and here we go. And now we're going to cut this bottom little section off right here. So we just cut this one off. Now we're going to cut in the score line and right down here. So now on this bottom row, we have score line, score line, score line, and one that goes all the way across. So we are going to just cut up here, right here, and right here. So we're going to leave these on here. We're not cutting them. We're not going to cut this way. We're just going to cut up to that score line. So just take your scissors and go up to the score line. And these are going to be the flaps of the bottom of your treat bag. So we just cut up on those. Now the smaller ones, if you want to, you can do a little rounding. You can just kind of makes it a little bit, looks a little bit nicer. But you don't have to do this. You just kind of cut off the edge. Feel like that. There we go. All right. And then on this flap right here, you can just take a little bit off each edge. And then we're going to add adhesive on this piece right here. Or I'm going to fold it over, excuse me. I'm going to fold it over. Then we're going to add adhesive, and then we're going to bring this over. So make sure when you add adhesive that you have this folded in like this. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm just going to add some Stampin' Seal, and I have found that you do not want to press, you do not need to press, excuse me, you do not need to put a lot of pressure on your Stampin' Seal when you're applying it. That's what I'm trying to say. And then we're going to bring this flap over here, and we are going to line it up even with this. So I want to make sure and that we get our score lines, and then press down. Now you can also round off the edges if you want to, like of our little top, flap. So now we're going to turn this, and we are going to fold our ends, and this is going to be the front. So with this little flap is the back, and so you want to fold this piece over last, so it gives it a cleaner look. So you're just folding these, and then you're going to fold the back, and then you're going to fold like this. So I'm going to add some adhesive. And bring that up. And then I like to set this up and take my bone folder and kind of press in there, because that way make sure that it adheres well. And if you want to, you could even cut another piece of cardstock to place it inside your holder your treat holder so you do not see that little fold down there, but I think that is just fine. And now we are ready to do some decorating. So I'm bringing in Happy Easter, and I have my strip of Real Red. And again, this is 1 by 3 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Ornamental Black or Basic Black, and we will stamp that right in the middle of our Real Red. Happy Easter. And I am going to place our Designer Series paper right here on the front. And I think I'll use liquid glue. And of course you could use either side, but I'm going to use the striped side. So I'm going to add some adhesive. This gives me a little wiggle room that I can make sure I get it lined up correctly. And we're going to bring in our scrap of Basic White and stamp our Bunny Rabbit and Mango Melody. We do not have any dies with Easter Friends stamp set, but these little characters are really quick and easy to fussy cut out. Isn't he adorable? So I don't know. I haven't tried using So Saffron, but I'm going to try using the light So Saffron Stampin' Blends just to give a little more color. So we'll see how this works. So we'll just go ahead. And I could leave it the Basic White, but I thought we'll just add a little bit. I think I'm going to make his ears. I'm going to use the dark So Saffron for the ears. So I'm just coloring. And you can go ahead and shade in over here that already has some shading that Stampin' Up! Has given us. If you want to add a little more color. I'm going to bring in the dark. To kind of shade in so some of it's a little bit darker. And you can just kind of play around with your Stampin' Blends. I'm going to come back with that light again and just kind of blend some of that together. All right, I think that looks good. Maybe right here. Okay, and as I said, it's easy to fussy cut, and I'm going to leave just a little bit of white, and I'm going to try to turn the cardstock more than my scissors, if that makes sense. And of course you do have to move your scissors too, but again, this is a quick and easy rabbit to cut out, so it isn't hard at all. And you can put anything you want in your little treat bag. And I haven't showed you how we're going to close it yet. So I do want to show you that. And I have 2 ways that you can close it. So I'm going to do one way right now, and then we're going to close it with a different way. I'm going to show you one that I've done differently, I'm trying to say. Okay, so here is our treat bag. But to close it, you just press on both sides of the little treat holder. You just kind of push in like this. And then your flap closes right like that. Is that not adorable? I mean, that's quick and easy, right? Okay, now we're going to bring in our Happy Easter. And you could round, if you have something to round off the edges, you could do the bottom 2 edges, but I am not on this one. And I'm going to place this right here on the bottom of the flap. The Happy Easter. There we go. And now I'm going to pop up our rabbit with some dimensionals. You can make a treat holder for family members. Maybe if you're having a dinner for Easter, you could have one of these sitting at everyone's table for a table setting. If you have children, grandchildren. Now I do like to make sure this is closed before I add my rabbit. And the reason, because the rabbit is, he's fairly tall. So I want to make sure I don't have him in the way of the flap. That's what I'm trying to say. So isn't that cute? Okay, now we're going to bring in our ribbon. And, well, I guess I didn't use this one, but I had an extra one made, that's why. And I guess I grabbed that, didn't I? They're both the same. And now we are going to wrap the ribbon around and add a bow. So I think I'm just going to kind of estimate how much I'm going to need. And snip that. Let's see how. Well, I cut off about 20 inches. And we may not need that much. And of course that little flap wants to come up, so I'm just going to go ahead and it's easier if you kind of hold it. And we're just going to put some ribbon on here. There we go. We can adjust this. Now on my other treat holder I'm going to show you, I did something a little bit different with the ribbon. And there's pros and cons of each one. So this is maybe a little trickier, but you can get it wrapped around. And we might want to take your bone folder and crease the little flap here a little bit, which might make it stay shut a little bit. And it looks like we needed about 20 inches. And we can give a little haircut. And here is our treat holder. And you can make this bow a little bit smaller so you can see your Happy Easter sentiment is what I'm trying to say. And you can also bring it down below if you want to. And we're going to try to put it a little bit on the side. So you can have it in the middle, you can have it in the side, you can add some embellishments. And so here is a quick and easy treat holder. And the other treat holder, Happy Easter. Here I just use scissors and rounded off the edge. And I use Pool Party, Fresh Freesia ribbon, Highland Heather cardstock, and the DSP from the pattern paper that's in the annual catalog. And I decided to go ahead and just use a regular paper punch for the holes to add my ribbon. So the only problem, you do have to do this in sections if you have this type of hole puncher, because it's not strong enough to go through all of the layers. But you may have a stronger hole puncher that would work fine. So you have Happy Easter with your little treat holder, which you can open and add something, then tie it back up. And we have this one with the ribbon that you put something in there, tie it, and then and there's quite a bit of room in there, actually. So let me know which one that you like the best. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Have a wonderful week.